because we're
Never,
live. No one will be
never
watching
ending.
because they won't be expecting us to be live yet.
No, who early?
Oh, actually, hang on. I've seen bloody
That's
late
Gary.
TikTok, Gary and
It's
Twilight.
6 in there.
I don't
I think
know.
we need a roll call to find out actually who is here on time. So we've got Gary and Twilight.
Who are the other 5 in there?
Me.
Holly up,
Oh yeah,
Ray.
Holly upstairs.
Yeah, probably is Holly. She wants to know. She asked me who my favourite Harry Potter character was. I said Hermione. She said, why? Well, she's hot now, isn't she?
Was it with SJP's video? It looks as if he's got Vaseline over it.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like it's steamed up a bit. Or get as late as Ray on the brakes. Hey.
Oh, Jason's here as well.
Jason's here as well. You know, at some point we may have to get Gary singing on a microphone.
Yeah, I don't know how to say hello in Swedish. So
yeah, you
what
do.
is the
It's
what?
Meatballs.
It may not be sounded pronounced like this, but
IKEA.
It's hedge.
Is it
H-E-J?
Right.
It's probably more like hey.
Yeah, I was actually looking on a website the other day. Not one of those ones.
Oh, okay. Oh, for God's sake.
And I was looking at things I could send to Jason to try and get his attention when we were trying to get his attention. So, like things to like what you can say to Swedish people to upset them.
Oh, jeez. What's the chocolate like in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Belgium.
I didn't know the Swiss Alps were in Sweden.
Yeah, that probably would do it. Hey, that's okay. So it's pronounced hey, but it's spelled H-E-J. That must do his head in then whenever we're talking to hey.
About hey.
Yeah. But yeah. Right, I just want to make sure that I'm looking at the right things.
One of the things that this website said though was something you should never say to a Swedish person.
Persian? What's Persian?
A Swedish person.
Sorry, you said Persian.
I didn't. But it'd be interesting to know off Jason what it actually means.
What? I'm not listening, sorry, go on.
What does hurdy-gurdy-gurdy mean?
It probably means absolutely nothing.
No.
Okay.
Probably not even Swedish, probably something we invented.
Yeah, it's probably Swiss. Right, okay. Obviously, we're here for a reason, and a couple of people may have a few ideas, but blah, blah, blah. Interestingly, only one person has asked us recently what's happening over the Christmas period.
And that was hello.
Yeah, it was hello. Yeah. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Nino, yes. I mean, that's a joke, hey. So, over
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Well, it's factually correct. Okay, so over last Christmas we did What the Ford, didn't we? This Christmas, though, we're not doing anything like that because the admins haven't had a break, really. So they want to have a bit of a break. But there is going to be something happening. We put the calendar out a few days ago. It was actually after Hay had asked about what was happening. And only one person asked about what was something on the 2nd of November.
December,
good point. Yeah, because there wouldn't have been anything on the 2nd of November. And for anyone that wants to have a quick look, go and have a quick look. I've not got the picture to show on the screen. But there was something in the 2nd of December's box, which is going to be something that's going to be happening. But, I mean, I'm doing this on the fly. I haven't prepared any of this, and neither of the other guys, so they don't know what I'm about to say, let alone me know. So what I'm thinking perhaps we do is, if we mention that recently we've been asking the guys about some cars and some tracks, and a few weeks ago we sent a picture to all of the drivers with 10 cars on, and asked them to basically pick one of them. So I'm going to show on the screen now that particular picture. So obviously the guy should know all about it. Yeah, so if you had to choose one to use again, which would you pick? And would any of you three like to explain this particular selection of cars?
SJP.
Yeah, well done, Ray. Drop him in it.
Where's my mute button?
Come on.
What am I meant to be saying about this choice of cars? It was
Wait,
basically
why is there 10 cars?
It's 10 of the previously used league cars, as Dave stuffs his face there, but you can't see it. It's absolutely disgusting. But obviously,
Twilight wants to know where his Dodge is.
We've not included any of the just previously used cars.
Or multi-cars.
Or multiple car championships.
Or multiple car championships, yeah. So basically, that was it. Oh. So it came down to these 10.
Okay. And some people will know how some of the voting went. But we're actually going to show you exactly how the voting went without showing who picked what. So, the first round of responses from the guys was the Toyota SFR concept got 1 vote, Red Bull Junior got 1 vote, the Grevo got none, which I was surprised about. The VW Supersport got 3, the Mazda Touring car got none. I like Steve F1's tactic on that. I won't vote for that because other people will. No one voted for it. The Group 2 Nissan Zanavi got 2 votes. Toyota Supra got 1. Mazda got 1. Porsche got 6. And Tomahawk got 1. Now, we could have easily have gone, oh, well, the Porsche's got 6 votes. Let's go for that. But that wasn't what was decided to be done. What was decided was that we'd cut it in half and go from there. But there was 3 sort of clear sort of victors in that. So they went through to the next round, and all of the drivers were asked, which of these 3 would you pick? The VW Supersport, the Zanavi, and the Porsche. And as these guys are sat there, Ray looks like he's going to fall asleep, not that you can see him at the moment. So these 3 were put to the drivers, and else if we put the right picture up. This is how the voting went on that one. The VW Supersport got 4, the Zanavi got 6, and the Porsche got 6. So it went down to the last 2, the Zanavi and the Porsche. Now, something I want to quickly mention here is anyone that may have spotted so far, the votes have been 16 votes, and I'm pretty sure there's 17 or 18 of us. Ray, would you like to explain why there's only 16 votes on the cars? No one can see you shaking your head.
I don't have a fucking clue. Honest.
Right, Steve F1.
Do you know Steve F1?
I thought he was going to ask me. I fucking know why.
I don't know either.
I can't be the only one. Right, so SGP's now sat there thinking, oh shit. Okay, come on, SGP.
I know why, but I don't think it's fair for me to say I want to see these 2 sweat it out a bit longer.
I'm not sweating out. Just wait. Sit and chill. Put my seat back. Relax.
Yeah. All right,
and have a bit of Toblerone.
Yeah. Well, have you noticed Toblerone next to the arse of the car?
Have you noticed Toblerone in the back of me?
I hadn't actually, no. Fucking hell. Okay, so I'll tell you one of them. When the drivers were asked, it was before Tyler sort of re-emerged. So Tyler wasn't in on the car selection. Also, obviously we've had a couple of guys show interest recently, and one of them, we didn't give him the option of the cars because he hadn't been in the league driving with us with any of the cars and has not done a league race yet. So it is only the 16 drivers. Although when it comes to the track vote, I do believe one of them is involved in that particular vote. So, should we just show them the result of the vote?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The Navi got 7, and the Porsche got 9, which means that we are going to be going and doing an event in the Porsche 911 RSR. Now, I suppose I could ask the question, why did we bother go through the whole voting process if the Porsche had the most votes at the beginning and had the most votes at the end? Why didn't we just pick the Porsche to start off with?
Give the other cars a fair chance. Simple as that.
Come on, Ray, I want you to have an answer.
SGP's already answered.
It doesn't matter. I want you to have an answer as well.
I was to give the guys that had already voted and their car get kicked out another chance to vote.
There you go. That was the better answer I was looking for. Well done.
We didn't want to leave them out, you know.
Exactly. He does know something, folks.
We
And
didn't
next time-
actually say fuck them, but
Next time-
By the way, you're back on camera now, boys.
I was going to say, next time Ray closes his eyes, you need to put him on camera.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, well, if you start snoring. Right, okay, so as I mentioned, yes, we are going to be doing an event with the Porsche 911 RSR. We also went through a process of asking the drivers about some tracks as well, didn't we?
Did?
So, I'll tell you what, I will put the track selection. So the drivers were asked about 8 different tracks, which, to remind Ray and Steve F1, the tracks that were put forward for this selection are proper original sort of F1 style tracks. It's tracks that everybody knows and shouldn't really need to go and do practice on because we all know the tracks. So the drivers were given the possibility to vote for which track, if they had to use for a special one-off race, which track would you vote for? We'll go through the voting process again. I'll go through this pretty quickly this time. So the first round of votes came back like this. Spain, no votes. Red Bull Ring got 2. Nürburgring got 2. Spa got 2. Brazil got 4. And Monza got 6 and Fuji got 2, with Suzuka getting none. So I'm looking at this now and thinking, actually, no, I may have missed a vote off on this one, folks. I've been very busy recently. How many is there? 2, 4, 6, 10, 16, 17. No, there's 18 there. Okay. Well, that would say to me that the next round of votes then should have had... Oh, no, that's right. I was going to say should have 4 or 5 tracks on, but no, my apologies. Because Red Bull Ring, Nürburgring, Spa and Fuji all had 2 votes each, they got knocked off the list because there's no point taking them forward because Spain and Japan had no votes, so they go off the list. If you keep the others that got 2 votes, then everyone would vote the same potentially. So all the ones with 2 got kicked out. I know I said I'd do this quickly. Stop laughing, Ray. Right, so it went on to another round of voting, as you know, which was Brazil and Monza with Le Chicane. And the result of that was quite interesting. Hey, I saw that, Ray, as I turned around and looked at the screen. I should record what's happening there as well. Right, so the result of the votes is like this. 8 for Brazil, 9 for Monza. Now you can do the maths. That's only 17. There was 18 votes. SGP, would you like to explain to Ray why there's only 17 votes in total here when there was 18 before?
Him.
All right, fuck him. Send it to the page, is it?
No, I mean, the
Jason took too long.
voided vote. No, to be honest with you, the reason is it ended up being level on votes, so the admins had a difficult decision to make, and we decided that the driver that was asked to select a track that had not actually taken part in the league yet, his vote would be put aside, And I must say that was decided without the admins actually knowing what track it was that they'd voted for. So
Yes.
There we
So
are.
for anyone that wants to know, for example, myself, Ray, and Steve F1, we 100% didn't know which track they'd voted for. SGP said he couldn't remember, but we were given the option to knock the track off without knowing which track it was, and that's what we did. And it ended up being that it was Brazil that voted for, and Monza is what it goes for. Go on, SGP,
Yeah.
you want to mention something?
yeah, before anyone says anything else about the admins get to pick the track or this or the other, it actually was equal on votes before the admins voted.
Yeah.
And it was equal on votes after the admins were voted, so that's why we had to come up with another way of dealing with it. So
Yeah.
there we are.
Okay. I don't want to go straight into showing the settings. We're back on. Look, get back on camera now. Right. I don't want to just show an image of the settings, because I think it'd only be fair to kind of explain what it is that's going to be happening, what the concept is, and then I can show the information, and we can go through it a bit more if need be. Ray, Steve, who would you vote to explain this one?
Steve F1.
I can explain it.
The Ray says Steve F1, Steve F1 says
Yeah,
SGP.
fine. So basically, I think it was this come from an idea from a league driver some time ago.
It has, yeah.
It was basically a suggestion of having a one-off race, 40 minutes in duration like we normally do, but with more with as close to realistic settings as possible. So with fuel on, tyres on, but also with boost off.
What?
Yeah. So that this annual Rivals Challenge, the reason the name we've come up with that is because obviously there's going to be people who obviously race in the league purely because of boost. This is actually a challenge we're going to probably do annually, obviously, where it's an opportunity for drivers to see where they fare against their rivals. Hence the question last week on the video, who are your main rivals? And it's just basically a chance for everyone to show just where they stand relative to each other in a 40-minute race with no boost, pit stops.
Than it being...
Can I change my answer to that question? My brakes.
To be fair though, your answer to that question I thought was a fair one, which is obviously we do this for fun, and yes, it's a Rivals Challenge. But what we want it to be is more of a, okay, there are some people that think, oh no, boost is off, I'm not going to bother. Well, what we want to do is go, well, look, it's not about, okay, if you're perhaps not faster than others, it's not about you racing those faster guys. It's about you racing those guys that are around your pace and seeing how you stack up, right? But just doing it for the fun of it as well. And with it being a one-off, okay, some people might not like the idea of no boost, but it is only a one-off. We're just doing it for the fun of it. Go on.
Yeah, Bunsel's asked a question in the DGT chat.
If he's not sent it to the page, we don't want to know.
Send it to the page.
It is a good question. It is a good question, and I'm sure he will send it to the page. If we're doing as close to realistic as possible, does that mean we're having full damage on?
No. No.
And the main reason for that is, in my mind, is if you do happen to be in an incident that's not your own fault, you're going to be hindered anyway because of the incident, and you haven't got your boost to try and get you back into it. So
if you've then got damage as well.
You've then got damage as well. Now, that's not saying that at some point in the future when we do revisit ARC that it won't be included. But with this being the first look at it, and the settings are going to be as they are for us all to get used to this style for this event.
Yeah. Mitch has popped a question on YouTube as well. if people have got questions, feel free to pop them in the chat or the YouTube chat or send them to the page. We will get through them. In a moment, I will pop up a picture which will have more information on it. What I will say is that I will actually name whose idea. It was actually Art Pal's idea that he put forward, was discussed about. And unfortunately, it's probably a race that Art Pal's not even going to be able to take part in because of busting his arm. Richard said, kind of glad I can't make it. There'd be no one around me for the wrong reasons. But that's the thing. There probably would be, because Ray's going to knock him off the track, and then you'd have loads of people to race with.
Also, the other way of looking at it for Rich would be if he was consistent but not on pace, someone that's quick but makes lots of mistakes, by the end of the race, you're going to be near someone.
Yeah. And also, it's one of those things where, at the moment, I've got no intentions of doing a recording of a video for it. So it's not like we're doing it for... We're not doing it for competition. We're doing it so that on the 2nd of December, when this championship has ended, the week after, we can all sort of get together for a race that hasn't really got any pressure on it, and we can just enjoy it and have a laugh. Now, Rich, he's going to be dipping his wick in Paris. Sorry, in his wife in Paris. I apologise if there's children watching, but you shouldn't be. It's not for kids. So it's not about, although we're calling it the annual Rivals Challenge, it's not about pressure and racing, and it's about turning up on that day, having fun in a car we all seem to like to have driven around a track we all know, and just enjoying ourselves into December. Right, I'm gonna pop the picture up. It's gonna. I might get it up without showing a different image first. I was wondering if there's anything else that you guys want to mention about it when I'm getting the picture ready.
Well, no.
All right.
Apart from one thing we would like to know is, because obviously we've got a couple of reserve drivers.
You were saying you've just cut out and blip, blip, blip.
Do you mind?
Because Ray butted in.
Did he? Oh.
He hit his microphone with his beer can.
Right, okay, fair enough. Right, go on, what were you saying?
Drivers to message the page with their interest in participating. That way we can, or the ones that don't want to participate, let us know, and that way we can let the newer guys know. Like Emo, who's been in practice sessions, and there's also another guy in the pipeline as well. We can offer them a position for the race, depending on how they get on between now and then. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pop some information up on the screen. Mitch asked no tuning also, right?
Nope.
Yes, no tuning. Okay, so the way it'll be is... What's up, Ray?
There'll be no boost, wheel slipstream, racing soft tyres, wear of times 17, fuel burn times1, and your no traction control either.
Oh, yeah.
And a tie. See?
Oh, yeah.
I got it on my phone.
And
the time of day it would be midday.
Yep. You forgot to mention that it's 25 lap race though, and not a 40-minute race.
I've not got to that bit yet.
Oh,
and it's a 25 lap race and not a 40-minute.
I bet that don't say it on that phone. I bet it don't say it. Right, so yeah, so it's going to be a 25 lap race, not a time race.
Yes, it does. It says 25 lap race.
Oh, all right, okay.
Where's my fucking kit?
I can't believe you showed dick pics. Right.
Brake horsepower will be 499 and weight will be 1093.
Which I believe is exactly the same settings we had it in the No.
Apart from the tyre wear.
Yes.
Is different because obviously this is now going to include pit stops.
Yes.
Whereas in the No, it was no pit stops, whereas here, you might want a pit stop.
Yeah. And the reason they've chosen laps rather than time is it's just easier to work out in your head. We're not looking to confuse you, but 25 laps should have been worked out to be around about 40 minutes. Yeah. Tyre wear.
And Twilight, learn the pit lane entry, you know.
Yeah, that is a good question. It's Twilight still has not answered us, Raymond, about what was happening with his pit stop the other day. We're gonna have to.
He's not watched the whole video, has he?
No, we're gonna
The
have
boss
to.
switched off.
Yeah, we're gonna have to tickle his G spot and find out.
You can do that. I ain't fucking doing that.
Well, yeah, tyre wear was tested and selected by, and the fuel by the Steve. So blame the Steve friends if it's bad. Personally, I've
Just come in on that. We only tested it. We didn't extensively test it so that we've got a great knowledge of it. We just made sure it was acceptable.
Oh, shit.
It's literally a few laps,
Yeah.
so it's only a rough idea. But the fuel, you'll notice the fuel's only on ×1.
Look at their noses. They're growing longer, and look at his face. His face is gone red. Lying bastard.
The fuel is only on ×1 because, in theory, you won't have to put fuel in. That's just there as a nominal thing. The fuel will go down, but you won't actually run out during the race, so you won't have to fuel save.
So the car will get faster as you go through the race. Fair enough. Okay. Even I didn't know about that. Okay, on the calendar for the 2 weeks after this, it just says random races. I'm guessing, just so everybody knows, that is going to just be if we're able to get on a Thursday and do some random races, that's what we'll do. But it is obviously the lead up to Christmas. Pre-COVID, people would have been... I'm going to put us back on camera, by the way. People would have perhaps been doing Thursday night shopping, stuff like that. People don't have to attend those, but if we're able to do it, we will. I'm trying to think if there was anything else with the ARC that we sort of want to talk about or mention. I don't know if there is, really. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the driver's thoughts might be on this. They might be like, "Oh yeah, cool concept, but shit, no boost," or not. But one of the things that we have had in DGT quite a lot over the last couple of years is obviously every now and again people comment about, "Oh, well, maybe we should try a season without boost." It's not something that I'm particularly keen on. I don't think these guys are particularly keen on it. But every now and again, doing a one-off event, I'm not saying it's to please those that want no boost, but it might emphasise why we don't usually not have it. Yeah.
Just
Get out! I might be going great, but I'm not a fucking teacher.
We have discussed the potential penalties because the way we do it at the moment for league races, it's not going to be the same. Obviously, you can't say, well, let's give somebody points penalty because it's going to matter very little on a points penalty when it's only one event. So does somebody want to mention what the plan is there for the penalties?
Just kick them.
Everybody get right.
I don't know. Nobody said anything to me. Kick them. Put them out the lobby. I'll be the first one gone with my brakes.
It'd be shit, disconnected. I
don't know.
I can't remember what was said.
I can't remember what we decided. I remember discussing it, but I can't remember what we decided.
With the penalties at the moment, we've got stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, and instead of them being points, it's going to be seconds.
Time. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
He never put it in his session season info.
No, I did. I sent it to you, and it was for you to put on there.
Yeah.
It's not in there.
Scroll up or
I know
down,
you've
you'll
not-
see
you've
the
not
message,
put-
right?
Yeah.
Right. If anybody has got any questions about the information that we've already given, please feel free to ask the questions. One question is, are we going to be doing any practice sessions for it? As far as I'm aware, no. It's not about practicing, as I said. It's not about the competition. It's about just coming and enjoying yourself. Traction control. It's something that the drivers have been asked about recently. Discuss.
I'm disgusted.
I never get asked about it, so I'm not taking any part.
You got to turn up to the race to get asked a question after that race. And you
That
No, I
affects the league.
Well, you see, the post-race questions don't affect the league. They can gain
Well, you do
information.
taxing control.
No. See, if we were to actually want to get all the drivers' 100% opinion, then I'm pretty sure that you guys, you guys would message the drivers directly, just like with the car and the tracks. So yeah, someone talk about traction control.
Well, I think the main kind of thing is that quite a few of us use traction control at the starts because other people use traction control at the starts and don't want to get a disadvantage. So it's one of those things that I think a lot of drivers would like traction control ban for that reason, but it's whether anyone actually uses it. They need to, it depends on the car, doesn't it? If the car's quite difficult to drive, then some drivers might want traction control on to drive the car. But if it's unanimous that every single driver on the grid doesn't want traction control, then we'd be open to banning it. So, and this is a good opportunity to test. Having this one-off race, good opportunity to test using it without traction control. So,
I mean, I do believe Ray didn't even know there was a setting to turn it off. No. See, so even if we'd asked you the question, your answer would have been null and void.
Because it's permanently on race system.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's not. I'm not friend.
you,
Traction control, friends.
You've got a GTC Golf traction control. Right. Okay. So yeah, with the traction control, it's like Steve said. If somebody needed it, I'd be happy to keep. But to be honest, I think if people are only using it for the starts, then yeah, get rid of it. And the championships that are coming up are good ones to effectively get rid of traction control in, because, to be honest, you don't want traction control with the Expo. You want to be able to feel it going sideways so that you can get hold of it and you can drive it. That's what'll help you then with the older F1 car and the Super Formula. It'll help all the way through. So, yeah, I think SGP at some point will have to message all the drivers and get a definitive decision on what about traction control for future championships. Right, Rich has asked, has the track vote influenced track decisions for future seasons, i.e. using tracks that had interest and less so ones that didn't? I think the answer to that is no. The track vote has had no influence on anything other than what track will be used in this event. Have you noticed that? They're all sat there as if the screen froze.
Without getting into much detail, we've already got ideas on the tracks for the next 2 or 3 seasons, haven't we? Not decided yet, but we've already got an idea of what we're going to use.
And these tracks had no effect on those tracks going forward. Obviously, discussions about someone is moving in the background, Steve. Discussions about the future season, stuff like that. It's not really for this podcast. But obviously, if people have questions, you can always answer them. But if there isn't much else, we can pretty much finish off. What I am interested to know is what drivers' thoughts are about it, whether they're up for it or not. Because it's one of those things that if it ends up being only 4 of us turning up to do it, then obviously it's something that's probably not going to continue on next year. Right. Anything else you want to say? Can you tell he's Scottish? He's sunbathing at the minute. It's night time and he's sunbathing.
I don't know. Is there anything else to add on? More of the calendar or anything?
I don't think so.
Somebody's fucking smelly feet are sticking up there on the bed.
Yep.
You know, this SGP's got a toe fetish. Don't jump right to screen.
Oh, man, it's so cruel.
Oh.
Right, okay. If people do have questions and we've ended the stream, by the time you want to ask them, feel free to send
it to the page.
Somebody wanted to mention something about send it to the page. or was that send it to the page about whether people are interested in attending this one?
And if they're interested in attending the ARC, and send about traction control to the page as well.
Okie doke.
If people feel they want to use it or not want to use it.
Also,
Yeah, just message the page if you want to do ARC, basically.
Or if you just want to wind Ray up, message the page.
No, I'll just ban them from the page if they do that.
You got
Simple.
post things up to the page at the moment. Hey, hang on, you can't ban people. You didn't know if it was Monday or Tuesday yesterday. Why are people talking F1? Why? Yeah, because it's Tuesday, right?
I was about to go head to war in the chat last night.
I will quickly mention as well, Jason and others, if you've got the 2K21 golf game, we do have a society on there. Feel free to let me know that you want to know the name of it, and you can. It's not invite. You can request to join, and we can get you on there.
Jamie Bunso, Jamie, fucking hell, his Sunday name. Anyone know how to use a live chat on YouTube on the PlayStation?
Never used it.
No, me.
So,
I'm not sure you can on the PlayStation.
I don't know.
Hey, Twilight. Twiggy, we're still waiting what happened on your pit stops. Come on, we're waiting.
It's just, I didn't pick as I decided last second to stay out.
Twice.
Oh.
I'd have just gone with, I fucked up my entry.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that not a penalty?
Right.
We've only had that on.
The next G spot, Twilight.
Steward's meeting.
Yeah.
That's an unsafe return to the track because I nearly smashed into him as well. If it wasn't for my quick thinking. Fuck. I would have wiped him out.
Okay. I think that's about it. So if you've got any questions, ask it. Go on.
Is any of the drivers get any questions of the Expo and whatever else has been released? Has anything else been released?
We announced the calendar for that yet?
No.
No.
When I do this, it looks like my headache connected to my body.
So it's like your head on someone else's body, like one of those memes or whatever.
Caricatures.
Yeah.
I've
just realised what it is.
Have they all been announced?
Really good.
Vehicle-wise.
Because there's a delay on your audio as well. It looks legitimate. It doesn't look like it's you speaking.
Sorry, Ray, I wasn't listening. I was too busy having a Richard's asked.
I know you're fucking on Expo tracks. I don't think we've done the Expo tracks yet.
We've agreed them, haven't we? But I don't know even
I was working on the graphics for them a week or so ago. I would need. Hopefully, you won't be able to see.
Twiggy's asking, do I get a star of when I win the Expo? Only if you can make the pit stops.
Yeah. So I remember doing the graphics for the tracks, but I don't think I've actually put it together on a picture yet.
One thing about the Expo, it would be good for us to get all of the info together. Just go, gosh, these are the car settings, these are the tracks, there's everything.
Actually, you know what? I have. It is. I did do 2 pictures that I sent to the admins last week. One of the reasons why I've not prepared them to come onto this stream is because we were mainly only going to talk about the ARC. But I mean, it's up to you. We shall. I think we should put the details to the page with the Expo, and then it'll be there for everybody to see rather than just sticking it in now. Message the page as many times as possible, asking Ray to make sure that the information is posted to the page.
Yeah, and you'll get a quick, swift ban.
Is it a Ray-Ban?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's not Ban Ray this time. It's a Ray Ban.
No. Okay. Something I do want to quickly mention while people are listening is that with the merch stuff we've been doing, I've not been creating much stuff on there lately because I've been busy. But what I want to do at some point, because Red Lad, his donation that he made a couple of weeks ago, has put us in a situation where at some point I'm going to be able to open up the merch store to a lot more stuff for a month. But what I want to do is sort of let people know and give them the opportunity. What are you two laughing at?
Hey,
We got a question.
Oh,
Do you get a star for each season, i.e. Expo?
No.
Yes,
The
you
question
would.
in the admin's chat.
And the admin's chat. Oh, the electric post? Yeah, we're doing a season on the electric post.
I tell you what, Ray, you can have the gold
Every day
star
confirmed.
now. You can have the gold star now, and I'll see you in 9 months.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I want a gold star. I want it on all my liveries. SGP had that to my Ferrari.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you. Hello, Bunso. Are you talking to the three? Yeah. Do you get a gold? Do you get a star for each season? i.e. Expo Super Formula? Yes, each season is different.
It is, although it's one collection of events, the I think it's OWAT series, Open Wheel Academy Trophy or something like that, I can't remember. Trio, actually. They are 3 separate championships. Rich says you get third of a star. That's not a bad idea, actually.
Nah, I want a full star. Or we're doing a season.
If we're from Irish, you get the third. You get a third of a star.
I've already got a fucking brown star. I don't want another one.
So anyway, yes, you're right. Okay, I was mentioning about the merch. So if we're able to open it up to more merch for a month, it would open it up to things like hats, caps, other items of clothing, different mugs, posters. There's a load of different things. I'll bring it up. I'm not going to show you, but it's just so that I can make sure, because in a way, I wouldn't want to spend the money and open it up to Prime if really nobody's going to be interested in getting anything. But it is an opportunity to get some bespoke stuff, like you can get iPhone cases, you get drawstring bags, you can get socks, you get backpacks, fanny packs, stickers, embroidered champion backpacks. You can get flip-flops. There's what else is there? I mean, this is just in this one. You can get duffel bags, desk mats, mouse mats. That's just in one selection. In the clothing, there's loads of extra t-shirts, jumpers. There's even clothes for the ladies. There's even some underwear if you want to get some of that. There's some dresses. There's lots of different hats.
Can I get DGT Tiger King underwear?
Oh Jesus!
Maybe hot pants.
I'm not putting. I wouldn't put Tiger King on it, but I could always put meow. Or for you, Raymond. Okay, there's shoes. There's notebooks. There's posters. There's pillows. There's pillowcases. There's bath towels. There's bath mats. So there's loads of extra stuff. And with the hats and stuff like that, we're able to do much more embroidered stuff. So for anyone that didn't get to see the hats that Gary and the girls wore for their walk, they were part of the sort of embroidered pack of hats, which I was able to sneakily get out of. And
See, while we've got Rich's attention, can we ask him what's it with this 8th place?
yeah, that is a good question. What is the deal with 8? 8th place in the races, 8th place in the standings.
It's near enough been every race, isn't it?
Pretty much. I'm just reading the comments here. Twilight saying he's got more stars than Ray. Rich saying you won't be getting a gold star, Raymond. So hang on. So even if Ray was in a championship on his own, Rich is saying you wouldn't get a gold star for winning the championship. He's basically saying you're not good enough to beat nobody.
Well, let me check the standings now. He's above me as well. He is, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he is. Yeah.
He is. He fucking is. Bastard.
Yeah, you want to try a different route. How many poles have you got, Ray?
How many poles have I got? I don't know.
None.
Do you want me to go and bring the one out of the bedroom?
No, you're all right, thanks. Leave it
With
in
my
there.
hot pants?
Leave it in there for later. Right,
That's where
okay.
we'll do the next live stream from, is the bedroom.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I can't think of anything else that I need to mention. What I will say actually though is obviously the idea of the arc is something that has come from one of the drivers. It was put forward, it was pondered on, it was talked about, some tweaks made, and yeah, we'll give it a try. So if people do have ideas, don't be afraid of putting them forward. Some stuff we may say no, don't be like Gary's. Maybe we should ban you from being further than a second in front. So yeah, go on, Ray.
That means there's don't Jimmy, do not Bunzel, don't be adding in NASCAR series. We're not doing it.
Well, you say that. You say that.
I'm not doing it.
We have actually talked previously. You might not have been there. We have actually previously talked about.
Exactly.
Okay, so for example, I like Aussie V8s, but there isn't many cars that are like Aussie V8s. But there's some cars that you could perhaps get away with going that kind of series. And there's no NASCARs, but there is the odd car that you could go, well, yeah, but you could pretend it's a NASCAR, like the Camaro. Is it the Camaro? There's the Hellcat. There's a Dodge Hellcat, but there's also there's a special Camaro.
M package, whatever it is.
That's the ZL1 M pack or something like that, which is very much like a NASCAR. So hey, maybe Ray, we could do a NASCAR series, but not just on ovals.
I'll think about it.
Richard put it annual oval race. Interesting. See, here's I'm just going off a little bit. Obviously,
I thought you were going to say something else when you started saying that.
I don't even know what I was saying. I know we've got the tracks ready to be announced for the expo. Personally, I can't remember testing the other ones. I don't think I've been involved in that. Are the tracks selected for the F1500 and the Super Formula? Because I'm just wondering if they are, would it be worth announcing all of those at the same time so people know what tracks are going to be on the calendar for the next 3 championships?
Possible, I guess. But we haven't actually agreed on them, have we? So.
Could go maybe 2, so it's not too much. Because what if you're doing the expo, you wouldn't really be trying to practice Super Formula, would you? You'd try to be practicing your expo. No.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Steve friend.
Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, they say they're playing golf in the middle of the night. They're not. Twilight said,
I know what they're playing with.
How about one track championship as Yamagiwa has like 10 layouts? So a championship just at one circuit using multiple different layouts. So, okay, like Twilight saying there, Yamagiwa has got 5 or 6 different layouts, but some of them you can do in reverse. You could have a whole championship at one track.
People are going to be turning right when it's left.
Yeah.
Who was it that did that the other day in the random race?
Was it Rich
Dave
or was it Dave the Hart?
Was it
It was
Gary?
Dave
I thought
Yarn.
it.
Or was it Ray?
No, it was Dave.
No, I went the right way. I was about to, and then I seen it.
It's an interesting question. To be fair, I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I tell you, great reflexes. Just like when Twilight was cutting corners at the pit lane.
Yeah. I don't think it's something we've ever really. I mean, one of the things you guys have tended to do is to not really have more than 2 events at the same sort of location. So if you're doing DGT Seaside, you might do DGT Gardens, but you then wouldn't necessarily do another Seaside in reverse or something like that. Or you wouldn't have more than 2 San Quas, because that's another one where you could have multiple championships. One thing we will say, though, is, okay, here's a question for you guys, in case anybody else is curious about it. The new GT7 is supposed to be coming out, I think it's in March time or whatever it is. From SGP's calendar, and I say that because it could be wrong, the championships that we've currently got should take us up to about the time GT7 is supposed to come out. So the question I've got for you 3 is, what happens then?
We've got to think of the drivers as well, and because PlayStation 5 isn't cheap, what's the demand still going to be like in March? Like, they're still struggling to put them out. So I think once we get closer, then I think we'll decide then. But if it keeps the way it's going, I think it would just be on the PS4.
Come on, Steve Friends.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
It's just uncertain at the moment what's going to happen, isn't it? So it's just, for the time being, it's business as usual with the league, isn't it? For as long as...
Yeah, one of
That's
the...
like we did with the PS3, wasn't it? The PS3, we didn't move over until they were... Everybody kind of near enough had one.
But one of the things we've done in the past, though, as well, is that we wouldn't move across to a new game mid-season, or you know, we would finish a season. We would, you know, anything that's been announced and we're going to go ahead with, we go ahead with.
Well, to add on to all of that, because some people I know have asked me on occasion, is with GT7 it's playable on the PS5 and the PS4, I believe. I don't know if it's going to be one price for both. So for anybody that isn't going to be able to get a PS5, then that's not too much of an issue really, because you don't have to get a PS5 to be able to play GT7. But what I think the guys have been trying to say is that even if GT7 came out on March the 1st, if there were still 3 rounds of the Super Formula to do, we're going to be finishing those. But also, when the new game comes out, there is not going to be a rush to get anything started on it, because when new games come out, they have issues. So those issues need checking and testing by the makers of the game, really, and by people worldwide. Updates will need to come out to fix any problems. The game will need to be tested by these guys to see what they can and can't do, as Steve's fingering his screen, into you. What's right? All right, you're talking about fucking. Right.
All back.
What's going to say? Yes. Yes, there's not going to be a rush, because there's going to be a lot of things that are different on GT7 So it's going to take time for these guys to realise what sort of settings you could possibly use, and all those different kind of things. What cars? There's so much that would need to happen, and there will not be a rush to go ahead with it. And even if all of that was actually working fine, I don't think there'd be any movement onto GT7 until pretty much everybody would have the game. Because the idea isn't, oh, new game, let's go, bosh, fuck everybody else. It's, yeah, it's a new game, but we're racing with our mates. So,
Yeah, we're like a family.
oh, fuck you know.
We piss each other off. Twilight, no, we already had the George Championship. What are you doing to your microphone?
I knocked it and it fell over.
Going to Twilight.
I bought it from Scotland.
Going to Twilight, Fluffy's all buying us PS5s using Bitcoin. So,
Rich, yeah, well, it wouldn't just be. We take everything into consideration, drivers as well, and like we are friends, and family, and we've got a good league going. So why would we ruin a good league to jump to a different game or a different console?
Yeah. The other thing as well is no one's going to be sat here going, "Oh, you've got to go and buy this game. You've got to go and buy this game. You've got to go." No, it's not about that. People don't always have the money, and that is totally understandable. I mean, the good thing is that you don't have to have a PS5 to play it, because obviously that gets expensive. But yeah, so for anyone that's been worrying about what will happen when GT7 comes out, I genuinely say, don't worry. When it comes out, there'll be plenty of time and there'll be no rush. So to a degree, I don't think any further cars will be chosen yet until we get sort of into the Super Formula season, probably. So that's where Twilight would like us all to use the Dodge Viper.
Nope.
I've
already used it.
Well, I didn't. I had to use a fucking Toyota.
Did you?
Yes.
Wasn't it Toyota in that champ?
No, I was in a Maserati. Sorry, it was in a different one. I was in a Toyota.
I was going to say, we could just do a championship in a Toyota.
No, you're all right.
An Alpha, because they're all Alpha tracks, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, there are loads of cars that we could use at some point.
Electric Porsche.
Sorry, Ray, you was on mute.
Already decided we're giving you the gold star for that one.
Yeah.
By default.
Yeah, I'll just put a gold star on his car.
Yeah. Right, I think it's time we bring this to an end. We've waffled for a while, and I know these guys are going to want to go and play some games.
Cool.
Personally, I'm not up for doing any driving. I am absolutely beat. So what I will say is, if anybody has any questions, send it to the page.
Let Ray deal with it.
Yeah. Right. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you all again soon.